Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rangers Review morning briefing for Wednesday, the 18th of September. I'm Derek Clark, and I'm joined this morning by Stevie Clifford. How's it going, Stevie?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is well and having a good week.
You having a good week, Stevie?
Rangers won, didn't they? So it makes it kind of easier, doesn't it?
Helps.
So get my car back today, Derek, after 3 weeks in the garage getting fixed.
Yeah.
So you'll know, maybe people won't know, but it was a write-off, wasn't it? So it was a category N write-off, which means it's like cosmetic kind of damage to it. So it's been away getting fixed for ages, and what a job the guys have done getting it fixed. So I get that back today. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, good stuff. Right, let's crack on with the Rangers news then. Stuff to talk about. Of course, we're looking ahead now to the game on Saturday and a return to Ibrox. It's been certainly a long time coming. We do know that the Copeland front will be open, the Copeland rear not open for the game. But yeah, Rangers returning to Ibrox after a long time. As you said, Stevie, it always helps when Rangers win over the weekend. I haven't spoke to you since then. I think off-field news overshadowed it somewhat. In terms of the off-field situation, we'll crack on, but we'll speak about on-field stuff as well. But the news over the last few days with Dave King saying that he wants to come back and take over from John Bennett. John Bennett himself stepping down due to health reasons. John Gilligan, of course, saying that Rangers' the priority now is to get a CEO in. What have you made of it all over the last, 48 hours or so?
It would be nice, Derek, if we could just focus on on-field matters, on winning games and scoring goals and things like that. But unfortunately, these days, it seems like we are talking about off-field stuff far too much. What do I make of it? I'm sadly not surprised by John Bennett's announcement. As you well know, that has been doing the rounds now for a number of weeks. And I wish him all the best. I think that goes without saying. In his battle with his health, I hope that he makes a full recovery. And I hope him and his family, get some time and get all that kind of sorted out and things. So that can coexist along with feeling that we really could have done without more off-field, upheaval. Basically, I think that's, on top of chairman, CEO, head of academy, etc., there's a lot of positions there that urgently need filled, Derek. So I'm sure that John Gilligan will do a very good job. He's somebody that's a massive Rangers fan. Obviously, George Latham in there helping and guiding as well. So, I think we're in safe hands with regards to that short term, but long term, my position remains the same as what I spoke about on previous shows, what I spoke about with you. It's imperative that Rangers go and get a CEO that's worthy of working for our football club and knows how to run a football club. And as for chairman, they've got an ideal opportunity to go and make a good appointment there as well. And for the investors to be able to take a back seat, be able to allow people to run the club and make good footballing decisions. It goes back to, something that we've said before with Graham Souness, first raised. There's nobody football-wise in there. So get people in there that can run a football club and know how to do. So, we wish John Bennett all the best. And best wishes to his family. But we could have done without this at this moment in time, and we certainly could have done without Dave King going on national radio talking about crisis and stuff like that. It really wasn't necessarily or needed. So I'm hoping that things quieten down, we get a wee bit of stability, and they make the right appointments, Derek, because that's fundamental and key to what happens. Otherwise, if they don't get that right, we're just going to end up in this circle, and we'll be back here pretty quickly. So let's make sure we get that right and go from there.
What do you make of this? I mean, of course, Rangers have enlisted in a recruitment agency now to search the market for a chairman and a chief exec. I would have liked that to have been the case previously when Bisgrove departed Stevie for Rangers to go out and do that. It seems that they've sort of maybe wasted a few months with regards to that, perhaps.
Well, it's difficult to know exactly what's went on behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
If you're asking the normal everyday fan, they would ask, what have we done since he resigned in May? Why is it taking so long to replace Seb Jacobs? And these things, what kind of irks me, I think, a wee bit is that the James Bisgrove thing wasn't a surprise. The rumours about him leaving, for Saudi were months and months. In fact, it was broken on X, wasn't it, on Twitter, that's what was happening. And almost seems like it's caught this boardroom by surprise, and it really shouldn't have. There's no succession planning. There's no forward thinking there, and that's disappointing. And it almost seems like what they've done, or what John Bennett has done, is that he's just went, let's fix the stadium. Let's fix that, and nothing else matters for the moment. Let's just fix that and make sure that's fixed. And things like the bar, which we were kind of promised would be open in time for first game of the season, is still sits an empty shell. And basically, I think that things like the CEO position and other positions at the club have all just been pushed aside to sort the stadium. And I understand that and I get that, but I'm unsure why we couldn't have enlisted this agency at least a few months ago to try and get these things sorted, like you said. So it is disappointing. And with regards to, just to comment on something that come up the screen there, I think it was World's Greatest DJ, about Dave King being entitled to speak out. Nobody's saying that Dave King isn't entitled to speak out. But the thing when Dave King speaks out is it always seems to be, it always seems to lead to more questions than answers. When you go on and you use emotive words like crisis and we don't seem to have anyone running the club and everything he's talking about, and that he needs to come back and sort it as major shareholder, why is he allowed that to become common practice? Why is he sat back and allowed that to be the case? He seems intent every time he speaks to try and blame everything on the Parks, and it just kind of grates on me a wee bit that as a major shareholder, he has allowed that position to manifest, Derek, and become where it is, where he, thinks we're a shambles and a crisis and everything else, and now wants to fix everything. And I get it. I absolutely get it. But perhaps if Dave hadn't left the way he did a couple of years ago and then more or less washed his hands with it, we wouldn't be in the position we are now, where he's having to point all these things out and come back. I just don't understand why a major shareholder would, or the largest shareholder would, just allow everything to go the way it has and not step in before this moment. Because if I was in his position, even though I'm not on the board or I'm not acting, if I've walked away from it entirely, I wouldn't just wipe my hands with it and then, suddenly start criticising everybody else when he's got a duty as cared as much as anybody, in my opinion. So it's a bit, Dave King shouting, when the horse is already bolted from the stable kind of thing. So yes, he's entitled to speak out, but I wonder how much it is actually, that's the thing about this whole situation. It's not one person's fault. There's a collective there in that boardroom, and I happen to think that all of them have contributed to the fact, with poor decisions and wrong things that have went on, to where we are now. And it's not a case of, it's Dave King's fault, it's the Park's fault, it's John Bennett's fault, it's Julian Wooldhart, it's Halstead, whoever. Collectively, they've all made really poor decisions running this football club and led us to where we are now. And I just think that, instead of coming out and blaming everybody else and talking about this and that, you actively could have done more to prevent the situation we're in.
Denzel, it's fair to say it's split opinion, certainly on the comments and on social media over the last few days, about the prospect of a Dave King return. Denzel with the point here, he says our club cannot be sustained with a battle of egos at the very top. Like 2012, we risk losing sight of what's important. The team on the pitch and the fans get it right, is what he has to say with regards to that. We all want a winning team on the park. There's no doubt about it. This I'll flag up. We discussed this yesterday when I was on with Joshua. It sort of took me by surprise, Stevie. Matthew Ross with the point, he says, what do you guys think of the Klaassen news? He has now signed for his former club Ajax. It was reported that Rangers and Royal Antwerp had failed in enticing him to their respective clubs, and he decided after leaving Inter Milan to head back to Ajax, decent move. He's a free agent, of course. Rangers were looking at the free agent market for a midfielder, but that one hasn't materialised, Stevie. I think the longer as time goes on, it's probably unlikely that a new body will be arriving at the club.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this last week, didn't we? And we spoke about the European deadline. So once that was missed, I kind of gave up any hope of anybody coming in, really, Derek, to be honest, with regards to, free transfer market and free players and stuff. The Klassen news, or the alleged Klassen news, it doesn't shock me because it's been rumoured, hasn't it, for such a long time. So it doesn't really take me by surprise. I'm not really up nor down from it. Would it have been nice to have another new signing? It probably would have been. But, is he the player that we really need? Is he a six that we really need? Is he, I'm not so sure. So if it had been right for the club and stuff like that, then yeah, absolutely. But, this number 6, we should have been a priority. Yeah. A long time ago that we're not having to scrape around in free transfers and stuff like that. So I think the squad is set, Derek. I think the squad is what it is, and we'll just need to wait and see where we go from here. And I didn't really expect anything. As I said, once that European squad deadline is passed, I think that was it, really.
Speaking of the squad, victory, as we touched on at the weekend, spoke with Joshua yesterday and his article on some of the young lads that have come in over the course of the summer that have started to show signs of promise. One guy up front, there's an article on the website this morning, folks. Joshua's written about Igaman and how that can push on Cyril Dessers somewhat. I think the manager's got a decision to make on Saturday, Stevie. Hamza or Cyril leading the line. Do you think he has a decision to make? And would you like to see Hamza start the game?
No, I don't think he's got a decision to make. I think that Hamza is a wee while off fitness yet. I think you could see that at the weekend. So I think maybe he's only around about 50, 60% fit. I think half an hour was probably about the most you could have got out of him. And I think that Cyril will continue. Danilo, obviously, probably about 10 days still before he gets back to being where he needs to be in consideration. So it'll still be Cyril, I think. But personally, as soon as the young fella's fit, I would get him straight in there. So I would be starting him, and very exciting cameo from him. I thought he was excellent. He actually, as weird as it sounds, I think we all thought in the little cameo at Parkhead that he did all right and he showed a few good touches, but he could be accused then of trying to grasp at straws and, in a kind of hiding like that, then, you're trying to grasp at anything. I completely understand that. So nobody really wanted to make a big deal of it. But he did show a few nice touches, a few nice turns, a few control. I thought he was excellent on Sunday. I really did. I thought that he made himself a presence, held up the ball, played in some nice passes, had a nice touch. And I actually quite liked, believe it or not, I know he missed his run for the header that he had across the face of goal to the front post and then the header into the side net. Yeah. So I actually liked everything about it. The turn on the chest, where he touched it on the chest and turned full pelt and played in Tom Lawrence was exceptional. He set up another one, I think, cutting in from the left where Tom Lawrence kind of bundled through and then put it just over the top corner. So there's a lot of things to be enthusiastic about. And I think that, and also, Derek, it raised a wee bit of a wry smile. I don't know if anybody caught this, but I'm absolutely sure it would have been discussed. He was kind of pushed a wee bit, wasn't he? And he reacted. And he had a wee bit about him, didn't he? A wee bit of that kind of spark about him.
He can handle himself, Stevie.
It just reminded me back of 2017 when we got this very young and raw Colombian up front who was very much in the same mould. So I think we all want to. I think we're all ready to fall in love again. And we all want this promising youngster. But what's exciting about it, Derek, is that actually we've got somebody on the bench that is ready to come on and be an alternative and feature, isn't it? I think that's what's but not only that, it's an exciting option for us and it's an exciting avenue to go down. So, I'm looking forward to seeing more. Wouldn't start him just yet, and I think in a few more weeks, he'll be ready to go. So, incidentally, if we're talking about the big man up front on Sunday, I thought he had a poor game. He actually had some good moments, like typical Cyril moments. Obviously assisted the goal very well. He done well to play Tom Lawrence in, and he should have shifted it to Cortez a lot
Yeah,
earlier, but they kind of delayed, and then Cortez has a shot save. So Dessers did all right. But the key thing for Cyril is that right on the stroke of the first half, he should bury that chance, Derek. He actually touches and takes it too wide and closes the angle and everything else, which makes it far too difficult, which we spoke about before. And I think that's the reason why when Danilo and Eagleman are up to speed, that these guys will find themselves with a lot of game time. So I don't think that, a lot of people have said to me, Cyril Desser's first choice and he won't be moved and stuff like that. I'm not sure that's necessarily true. If you look back to when Danilo was actually fit, starting at Tynecastle and things ahead of Cyril last season, it was the first time that Danilo was actually fit. So he started ahead of Cyril. So I'm not sure that Desser's place is as set as stone as people think. And I think that when the other boys get up to speed, especially Hamza, that Rangers will want to play him and and get him in the first team. But there's also the opportunity there, Derek, to take your time with him a wee bit and make sure he is up to speed. Use him as that kind of that kind of player off the bench that we can spark a wee bit of life into performances and things like that. So there's plenty of time. And the manager did say, wasn't it, October, November, December is when we're going to see Hamza up to full speed and stuff. So it looks like he's got that prediction spot on, and we just need to take our time. But he's certainly exciting, isn't he? I think that
he can control the ball. He can control the ball. He looks like he can handle himself, and he looks like he could be a fan's favourite. As soon as he gets that first goal, hopefully it's Saturday. I can see him going on and getting a fair few more. But it was interesting. Clont's words, wasn't it, after the game? Stevie saying that the Rangers couldn't afford him next summer. They're expecting him to improve tremendously, I think, over the next year or so.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Derek, I think you and I were on this show a few weeks ago, and I said, as a matter of record, that he's really been exciting and people have been impressed in training. I didn't make that up. I fine the stuff that's been said about him behind the scenes, and we're really excited about the kind of player he might be. Now, forgive me, I'm not, me, I'm not stats and I'm not up to date with all these kind of things. But if I remember correctly, wasn't he on the list of exciting young talents, and he was like something like 7th position?
Yeah,
and of exciting young under 21 strikers or something like that, wasn't he? So he's certainly, somebody that we think can really go on and improve. But if you actually look at it, and I was interested in some of the comments this week, Adam and Joshua have been talking about it, and I do agree. When you look at the performance on Sunday, you've got Jeffy, you've got Hamza Ngaman, you've got Diamandi, you've got Barron, you've got Cortez. There's 5 really young players, right? Who in time, Derek, not straight away, because they're going to go up and down and we're going to have inconsistent performances, but in time, we will, hopefully see them continue to improve, and it changes the dynamic of the team all of a sudden. I thought that Jeffy on Sunday was excellent from left back, put in a lot of runs and a lot of crosses, and won a lot of second balls and clearances. I think, excuse me, I just said a minute ago I wasn't in stats, but I heard somebody say that he made 6 clearances on Sunday, Derek. So and something like 8 ball recoveries. So that was really high, and I thought he was excellent. And I think that he's somebody that every game has kind of got that tiny wee bit better and is progressing every game. I thought Cortez, just for the 45 minutes, and him linked up really well.
Yeah,
it was excellent to see him back, and he'll take his time, getting up to speed. He's had a couple of really difficult injuries. So, I think that obviously victories make you feel a lot happier about everything, but there is promising signs. As much as everything's still a work in progress, the defence maybe needs a wee bit of work, midfield needs a wee bit, and up front the same, and we're a work in progress kind of thing. But you can see when the manager talks about having young exciting group and players in there. When you talk about them five, Derek, I think there is reason to believe. I thought Conor Barron again on Sunday was absolutely excellent. So it wasn't an outstanding performance overall,
something to build on.
but there was a wee bit. You can take the first 25 minutes, half an hour, and build on that and try and get more from that and try and become a wee bit more consistent. But I thought that overall, they created 5 or 6 really good opportunities. Didn't really get troubled at Butland, although Dundee United had a couple of near things. I thought that for an away game and a tough game, we came through it pretty well. And, I'm hoping that they get a wee bit of confidence from that and begin to build on it. I would like to go on a run of games, Derek, where it's quite low key and there's no drama and we're just churning out these kind of regular 2-0 victories and stuff like that till we get to a level of confidence again where the team can kind of kick on. So a very good win on Sunday, all things considered. Even if it wasn't a vintage performance throughout, there was certainly plenty of positives, I think.
Yep, lots of comments just off the back of that, so we'll get to a few of them. Just with the weekend coming up, the wonderful username Bolt Your Ballbag says, hopefully Phil rests Tav on Saturday, and Headkeeper says, hope to see Casemiro at the weekend. You and me both, buddy. He was about to come on, of course, at Tannadice for Tav, but the manager changed his mind late on. I think we'll see Tavernier arrested at the weekend, Stevie. I'm not too sure we will. Do you think we will?
Derek. Without, I've already upset people this morning, no doubt, but without upsetting more, I thought Tav was poor on Sunday. He had a couple of horrible passes, a couple of back passes that were really dodgy to Butland as well. And I just thought overall he wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. I thought he was poor in real bits. And
yeah, he's been poor all season, Stevie, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to come on and do this because people will get all upset, and then that'll be the comments will come and cue ball, he doesn't know what he's talking about and all this sort of stuff. And oh no. You know what happens, Derek, when I start going on about these things. But I didn't think Tav was good on Sunday, right? So with Dundee at home and the chance to see I'm going to call them Nana. That's what people call them, and it's certainly easier than saying Casavarzo, isn't it? So if he gets the opportunity at right back, would I like to see it? I think so. And it gives Tav the chance with a European game coming up and things like that. And maybe it'll just be a wee rest and also a wee kind of message to him as well that you need to get to a better level of football, Derek. I just didn't think he was... Like him and Dessers, I didn't think hit the kind of performance levels that they could. They had okay moments, but I don't think it was that great.
Yeah, I would like to see a change on Saturday. And this comment a comment came in yesterday, and I quizzed Joshua on this. Kelso Yabas, another brilliant username, says, surely an opportunity for Kelly to be played in goal on Saturday, lads. Butland needs to know he can't get too comfortable as a starter. Surely an opportunity for Liam Kelly at the weekend, Stevie, or keep Jack Butland in goal?
I think that the issue with that is that, Butland can't get too comfortable. I think when you come out in the summer and say everyone's got a price bar Jack Butland, I think that kind of opportunity for him not to get too comfortable is gone. So, I wouldn't be against playing Liam Kelly. I think Liam Kelly's quite a comfortable goalkeeper. One thing we shouldn't do is underestimate Dundee. I think they're quite a decent side and they can certainly come and attack and play football. But, Liam Kelly should be able to play in goals in any game for us and be fairly comfortable. I would have started him against Motherwell against St Johnstone, wasn't it? Yeah. I beg your pardon, in the last round. So I would have started him in that game, and I wouldn't be against seeing him get some game time on Saturday either, Derek. So, but I think the whole let's not make Jack Butland comfortable thing kind of goes out the window when the manager says in the summer that he's the only one that isn't for sale and doesn't have a price, etc. So I get the sentiment around it because I think Jack has made a few mistakes this season, but I think he's well. And then truly, in with the bricks, the first name in the team sheet, all that kind of scenario nonsense. So would I like to see Liam Kelly get some game time? Yeah. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, agreed. Other news, you will have seen that. Well done to the Rangers youngsters yesterday. The B team defeated, well, they thrashed Fraserburgh 5-0 at Forth Bank in Stirling to progress to the fourth round of the SPFL Trust Trophy, where they will take on Stenhousemuir. Rangers starting 11, Robbie Fraser captained the team. Clinton Enciala started at the back. Bailey Rice was in midfield, but he was taken off after half an hour. After getting injured. I'm not too sure the extent of that injury. Alex Lowry started the game as well. But some of the fringe players, you could say, on the first team, Stevie, getting game time last night. A convincing win against the Highland League opposition. Speaking after the game, the manager... let me scroll and get the reaction from Malky Thompson. He says, "We're pleased with the respect we gave ourselves and to the opposition. We played real good football, which culminated in scoring 5 good goals. We managed to get some real good combination play, and then we played with a speed and intent to get the ball flashed across the face of goals." So, Rangers B team in fine fettle last night. But Bailey Rice, of course, I think he's another player we discussed when I was on with Joshua yesterday, Stevie. A lot of supporters want to see more of him. Not ideally comes off after half an hour last night.
No, it isn't. It's a real shame, actually, for the young fella. And Jack Lovelace didn't appear last night either, so
yeah,
we need to go and find out. Yeah, I think there's a few questions surrounding, the kind of fitness of Zach and Bailey as well. So, first of all, well done to the B team. Cracking result there and really good performance after beating Clyde in the last round. So, Fraserburgh, no disrespect, we should be going there and really playing well. Kenneth says Archie Stevens was fantastic. That's great to know. Yeah. So he is a player that I like the look of as well, and has got a lot of promise, has played for England at under 17 level and stuff like that. So there's a few there, Derek, to keep an eye on. I quite like going to see B team. I wasn't able to go last night, obviously, with the car situation the way it is. So I'm disappointed to miss that one, but I'll try and catch the B team when I can. It was good to watch them in the last round. Obviously, Alex Lowry had that double that was really, really cracking, couple of goals, and a lot of youngsters in there that are exciting to watch. You never know how they're going to progress, do you? Because it's that age where some of them look like world beaters and then they don't really kick on. So it's always interesting to see the youngsters at that level. So it's great to see them get another result and kick on. I think the draw's already been made, hasn't it? But I forget who we now have because it was made.
Yeah, the place Stenhousemuir in the next round, yeah.
There it is, Stenhousemuir, that's right. Okay, so because I think Stenhousemuir have got Matty Yates up front. They used to play for us, if I remember rightly, as well as a youngster. So there's a wee interest there, and that'll be a good one. Stenhousemuir obviously up in the proper leagues and stuff like that. So that'll be a good tie, Derek, and that'll certainly be an interesting one for the B team. But, congrats to Malky. Malky's a guy that I've got a lot of time for, really good coach.
Yeah.
And Bleeds Rangers as well. So well done to Malky. I hope he enjoyed a wee glass of wine after that one.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Just on that, on Archie Stevens, RFC 72 says surprised that he hasn't had more of an opportunity on the right wing in the first team. I remember he came on, I think, was it under Beale when a lot of the youngsters came on? I think even Robbie Ure came on and scored. Was it Queen of the South? I'm thinking a couple of seasons ago in the League Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and we've seen a lot of the young lads getting game time, but we haven't really seen much of them since. I remember when he did sign initially from Wimbledon, I did speak to his youth coach at AFC Wimbledon, and he was waxing lyrical about him. He says that he's a real talent and he'll go far if he can keep his head down in the game. Has already been capped at youth level for England, and certainly by all accounts impressed last night and has been impressing for the B team. So certainly one to keep an eye on. Especially when you see Kieran Dowell at right wing at the weekend, Stevie. I'd imagine Václav Černý, of course, he was ill, which was the reason he wasn't featuring. Ross McCausland picked up a knock in international duty, but it shows you how much Rangers are looking to strengthen that position that Kieran Dowell comes in from nowhere at the weekend.
Yeah, it was funny when the team was announced on Sunday because I don't think anyone expected that, did they, at all? So certainly an interesting selection. Kieran Dowell and Tom Lawrence in the same team kind of raised eyebrows a wee bit. But I thought Tom Lawrence actually put in probably the best performance from him that I've seen in a while. He needs to now make that consistently. His target and stuff like that. Kieran Dowell is Kieran Dowell. There's need to see a lot more of him. Performing at a level
he's not doing enough.
Before I'm convinced about Kieran Dowell. So, he came in, did an okay job, didn't he? He wasn't great, he wasn't poor, he wasn't anything really. So, came in, did a job, and that's all you can really ask. But it is what it is. Was it a game on Sunday to throw in one of the kids when you really needed to win and stuff like that? I'm not so sure. So, Archie Stevens, if he's good enough, his time will come. I'm sure he's on the radar of the manager. That's for sure. So, we'll just see how it progresses.
Yep. And before we wrap up, a real special touch of class from Fortuna Sittard over in Holland. They've released a special Fernando Ricksen tribute jersey. It's blue with red trimmings. It's a fantastic jersey. They will be wearing it tonight against Ajax, and I think they'll also wear it against PSV at the weekend as well. It's now 5 years. Cannot believe it's 5 years since Fernando sadly passed away. But those jerseys will sell like hotcakes, Stevie. I think I'm going to get one myself. And fantastic little montage by Fortuna Sittard over on their social media account. Folks, do go and check it out. But yes, sadly missed Stevie Fernando.
Yeah, of course. Played a vital part in a treble winning Rangers side, and was part of Helicopter Sunday and all that kind of things. And you'll always, for what he done on the pitch, you'll always be very emotionally remembered. And off the pitch, when it came to his troubles, and everyone kind of rallied round him through his ill health. And I just wish his family and his kids and that all the best. And you're right about it being a real touch of class from them and from Fortuna. And hopefully people go and check it out and have a look at these jerseys and things like that, because the more that they can raise and things, then better. So, Fernando, always will be missed, Derek. So his love, our love goes out to their family, his family and stuff like that. And I hope that they're doing really well.
Yep, absolutely. Right, folks, that'll do us there. Big thanks to Stevie, as ever, for joining us on the show, and big thank you to you all for interacting, as ever. It is greatly appreciated. Just a heads up on those that are Rangers Review Extra members, Joshua and Adam. I've been, I think they're recording their tactics show. So I think they're going to focus on the strikers. So if you love your graphs and your XG and all that sort of stuff, then keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you can join us then. Until then, though, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye for now.